Welcome to Garden Cafe. I'm Maureen and this is my Texas Zone 8B 9A garden. Welcome to my May garden tour. Now I'll go through everything and how it's developing, and everything is starting to bloom and it's so wonderful. I absolutely love it. But just to give you an overview picture here, what I wanted to try to avoid was last year things on this lower level grew too tall and you couldn't see what was on the upper level. So I removed the dahlia tubers and I removed a few other things, hoping that would give me a lower profile on this lower level. But look, I mean, pretty, gorgeous. I love them. Dahlias. I guess I didn't get all of the tubers out of there. But just so you can see the profile of what people see when they come up to our house, not kind of the way I wanted it. I may still dig these out and plant them in the backyard. I don't know. They're pretty well developed by now. If I was going to do it, I should have done it earlier. I don't think I've showed this in any of my other monthly tours, but this is a passion flower that I planted over here. My sister gave it to me. Did okay. Didn't get any flowers out of it last year. Died completely to the dirt over Christmas. I mean, over the winter. And now it's coming back. So kind of hoping I get to see some flowers out of it. And man, this sucker, he hangs on to anything he possibly can. And I'm fine with him covering up that ugly unit there. My desert willow is really putting on a show right now. These blooms are just so beautiful. I absolutely love them. The Rose of Sharon's are absolutely full and gorgeous green. I do not see a lot of buds on these yet, but I have no doubt in the next few weeks, these are just going to explode in colors. Down here is the allium, still standing tall. I do see a few beginnings of buds down here, which is kind of cool. And again, just a reminder, I planted these last year. They grew, and when these leaves grew about, I don't know, less than a foot, they just flopped over on the ground. They had a few flowers, very unimpressive. This year, everything is standing up straight. The buds are coming in straight, so I'm excited to see how these are going to end up. Bachelor's buttons, firecracker flower. I mean, everything is starting to bloom beautifully. Let's move over a little bit. I was so sad my Mystic Spires salvia died, and I didn't think it was going to come back. And then suddenly this just popped up in the middle of everything, so I'm thrilled. Stock made it through the winter. It was blooming beautifully just a few weeks ago. I think it's just taken a little bit of a rest. I know these do well in our summer, so they should be fine. Let's see. Ooh, back there, my fire and ice rose bush. Just planted that. Bare root rose bush a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. Grew gorgeous flowers, and then thrips got to all of the roses in my yard. Cut all the blooms off, treated all of the rose bushes. That one's kind of sad looking, but you can see the coloring is just stunning in there. And seriously, folks, verbena for a win. I am absolutely love verbena, all the different colors. Gerbera daisies, I'm really kind of surprised they're still around. I planted those last year, spring. They're absolutely stunning. You can look at my April garden tour, absolutely beautiful. Usually by now, these are going away, but so far they're hanging in there, so that's pretty good. And then these petunias, outrageous. My sister grew them from seed. I have never seen petunia bushes so full. I'll give you a more of a I mean, seriously, take a look at that. It's a field of petunias. So beautiful. Now, I have cut back a few of these long, leggy stems have died. I have cut them back. I don't know if they're going to hang in there for me, but for the spring, these have just been my big, showy, gorgeous plants. And that dahlia, I actually left that one there. You can see a few of the white flowers with the yellow centers. It's just over more towards the left. I have taller plants over here. So that one I left, and that one actually never grew very tall. And it did just have beautiful flowers all summer long. So that is one I actually left with the intention of leaving it. The others, as I said, I have no idea where they came from. And again, my big show, verbena. This is the white verbena. I love these plants. They just come in about every color imaginable. And on the upper level, you can see the pink and white verbena. I have purple and white verbena kind of growing in the back. I'll draw a circle around it. Um, and you can see this is one dahlia. It's actually looking like it's ready to bloom. Man, it just does not like the sun though. The leaves are all perky and gorgeous. First thing in the morning, after a couple hours of sun, it looks kind of sad, but then it perks back up again the next morning. But the dahlia that's growing out of there looks really stunning. And now over to the dahlias I was telling you about before. I mean, seriously, they're gorgeous. You can see this is one that's blooming right now. I did not plant this, people. I have no idea where these came from. And this one is yellow, and that's pretty too. But I dug up all the tubers of dahlias across here over to those white ones that I decided to keep. None of the dahlias in the middle came back, but these two just popped up here. And the dahlia that was planted here that I dug up the tubers was a burgundy with almost a black inside, which was pretty. But again, plants are so tall, you can't see anything on the upper level. So again, I'm kind of 50-50. Do I want to move these at this point? Because as you can see, they're pretty far along. I think I've passed the stage of moving them, and just maybe I need to plan this a little bit better next year. But I don't know where these came from. Honestly don't. And this is what you see walking to my front porch. Of course, again, you only see it once you get past the dahlias level. A bunch of mums, hundreds of buds. These are going to explode in color any day now. The blue salvia, I think this is. I like it. Definitely needs a massive haircut a couple times a month. And again, you can see my dahlias. Sweet William back there has been the big surprise. And just a reminder, I accidentally dropped seeds off of the railing there. They blew off or fell off or knocked off, and the seeds all landed in the soil. I didn't worry about it. And look at that. It's absolutely stunning. Just tucked away back there. It's very pretty. And those are gorgeous to cut and bring in the house and put in vases. And then again, my verbenas and my, I'm completely blanking. I'll put the name here. I don't know why I can't get that name. And hibiscus. I have some hibiscus that's back here that seems to be doing well. The hibiscus I planted last year did not come back. These were two little starters I picked up about a month and a half ago. And this is my Mexican petunia garden. Mexican petunias I have brought back to this point, and they are growing. They're getting there. And then they go on to these two are Rose of Sharon's from cuttings I took from the ones in the front. And I'll review the rest. Just to let you know, we had a huge thunderstorm yesterday. Several of my flowers, several of my plants got damaged. So a lot has been cut back. It's less showy than it was just 2 days ago, but it's beautiful. It's May and it's looking gorgeous. The begonias that I put in here, I think that was in my April tour actually, in this little bike, so sweet, are doing fabulous. This seems to be the best location for them, but they are thriving. My petunias, yeah, after last night's rain, they look pretty much drowned, but I do expect them to bounce back. Dusty Miller, these guys, they're so pretty. I just love the contrast of that powdery white looking plant with the green of the other plants and the darker brown of the mulch. Very pretty. And then these are dahlias that are growing back from last year. These are seed dahlias that I planted. Really shocked, but they just came roaring back. The tall one back there and another shorter one back here, those are two tubers dahlias that I purchased. I purchased the tubes and planted them back there, and they are just absolutely growing gorgeous. 4 o'clocks, I am training these 4 o'clocks to be trees. Let me give you a closer look at that. I'm turning these 4 o'clock plants into 4 o'clock trees. As they grow, I'm just staking them so they don't flop over, and I just pull off the lower leaves or lower branches, and it does grow gorgeous. And I'll put a picture here of what my 4 o'clock tree looked like last year. So these are my Mexican. Oh, by the way, one of my dahlias. This is the third dahlia that's growing back. These are rapidly becoming one of my favorite plants, and a bunch of 4 o'clocks over here. But these are my Mexican petunias. These will grow as tall as the fence. And back here, I pointed this out earlier, I put metal hooks in here and over there, because once these get around 5 feet tall, they start falling forward. So I simply put some plant tape around one hook, ran it around the front of the Mexican petunias and then into the other hook. And that really did hold everything up and back, and it bloomed gorgeous every single morning. These are such reliable plants, and they do love Central Texas. These plants are getting hardened off. We have my Tiger Eye hybrid sunflowers. They grow about 2 feet tall, 2 feet wide, bushy, lots and lots of blooms. So I wanted to add these to my garden. And these, almost every single seed germinated, crazy, are the Mexican sunflowers. They grow over 6 feet tall, tons of blooms, tons of branches, very impressive. And this is the yellow torch variety. Now, I've already planted the ones I want outside. I did not expect to have so much success germinating all of the seeds, but really was. I have a whole bunch saved on the back porch for my sister. She's going to be here on Monday. And frankly, I think the rest of these I'm going to offer through Facebook, through my neighborhood page. And you can see some of the Mexican petunias are continuing to grow. That's why this fence is called my Mexican petunia fence. And the Mexican petunia fence continues. Literally, guys, this is probably 50 feet of Mexican petunias. I love them, so they're welcome to grow wherever they want. This is the zebra plant and the cyclamen that I transplanted out here in my death row plant video. This wasn't part of the death row plants, but they were on my front porch. They had been for over a year, and I thought, shade garden, this would be ideal location. And oddly enough, I thought these guys were done blooming, the cyclamen. They usually bloom in the winter, but I think they enjoy the cool nights we have been having. And over here, you'll see this repeated several times around the backyard. Two different hostas. This one's getting kind of bug eaten. That one is a little too. I think I'm going to treat these. Anyway, two different hostas, different colors, different textures. And then back here, you can kind of see my caladium is finally starting to come up here. Now, it has started coming up in the other places further, but I wanted that look. The two different texture color greens with that red-green caladium in the middle. They're supposed to be about 2 feet tall, so big filler. This is what I'm looking at. Clearly, it's going to be farther into the summer before I see these really take off, but that's the look I'm going for, and you'll see that combination of three plants several places throughout the yard. Also, this coleus, we bought it. It was one of the death row plants. And it was in a big pot, and it really was not doing well. I split it in half, and I put one half here and then one half over on the other corner. We'll be there in a second. But it seems to like that location. It's actually growing, and it looks pretty. Let's jump to the corner here. This whole area is going to be a deep shade garden. Right now, you're seeing a little dappled light. It's getting a very minimum dappled light. But once this tree really starts growing in, all of the leaves, this will be in complete 100% shade all summer long. So I have, again, you'll see the hostas. The caladium is not coming up, has not shown any life here yet. So I think that one may not succeed. And then back here, I have, gosh darn it, I will post a picture. And shockingly, a philodendron I thought was gone is actually coming back. That's pretty exciting. On either side of it, I pretty much repeated the pattern on either side of the corner. I have an azalea bush over here to the right, and an azalea bush not doing as well over here to the left. But these bloomed so pretty just a few weeks ago. I just absolutely love them. I put a begonia over here to the right, and another begonia over to the left. So basically I started in the center and then tried to repeat the pattern going in both directions from this corner. The azalea, there's the other half of the coleus, and folks, yeah, for a death row plant, this one is definitely doing a fabulous job. And then over there, once again, we have the repeated hostas. And that one also has, I don't know if you can see, but one of the caladiums is sticking up a little bit right there. So that one is showing life. The only one that's absolutely showing no life is the one in the corner. This is our little faux well. It was so much fun. My husband bought it for me. I just love, I'm sure you've seen the gnomes and the fairies, and I just love this very whimsical look. We put petunias in the base. This side, they're doing great. The other side, not so much. I think it's just too much sun on that side for them. But I may be planting something else over on that side anyway. I'll do that in the next video. And then a coleus up here, because even though it's getting about a minute of sun at the moment, under this, it's pretty much pure shade. Now we picked up some paint today. You definitely have to repaint these fun little lawn art things at least once a year to keep them looking nice. And this is my mini pond swoop. This is some of the damaged areas. These dahlias are pretty beautiful seed dahlias. I love them so much. They're coming up wonderful, but I lost a whole bunch of these branches in the storm. They fell over and literally broke at the soil level, but that's okay. Look, seems happy now. I put some petunias up here in this pot. I've got some snapdragons in that one, although the the seed dahlias are definitely stealing the show, and you know what? They're more than welcome to do so. These are two of the terracotta pots. Really kind of surprised the Calibrachoa is still hanging in there. Usually around this time of year, you start seeing that go south. A coleus that's coming up. I'm going to back that pot up a little to give that coleus some room to grow. And I put petunias in the other one. It's kind of doing okay. I fed an irrigation line up through the center of these pots. So it literally waters the soil inside the pots directly, which may be why these are hanging on as well as they are. And then over here, I've got Sweet William, calendula. Actually, I've gotten some very unusual, it's the first time I've ever grown it, some really pretty flowers from that. I'm going to bring you in closer. I want you to see some of the stuff I have over here. Look at this sunshine gazania. Now this guy is on his way out, but you can see the coloring is absolutely stunning, and I've got several more buds coming up. Verbenas, again, guys, I just love these verbenas, pink and white. I have a purple and white back here, but that's the plant that doesn't seem to be doing as well. A few other sunshine gazanias, but this one's a little bit getting covered by the other plants. I may cut the stuff back because this is just so pretty to have in the garden. I don't even know what this is. I'm going to look that one up. Jumping up on the back porch, I've got this kalanchoe, which I'm kind of surprised it's done as well as it has, in a little pot on the back table, but so far it's doing great. I will plant this out into the garden soon, but that's been a wonderful spring plant. Back here, I've got begonias, and by the way, I do have new begonia bulbs. I'll show you where I'm going to plant those. But these should be stunning. Absolutely. I bought these offline, and if the flowers are remotely as gorgeous as they are online, I'm going to love this corner. This is one of those little baby roses. I keep thinking this little guy's going to die, but I'm seeing a bunch of buds, and every so often it just comes up with the most gorgeous peakity white, red, almost like the fire and ice roses from out front, but they're little teeny tea roses, so I love those. Over here, these are the plants going to my sister's house. I'm in training these 4 o'clocks. These are the fuchsia pink 4 o'clocks, so they're absolutely gorgeous. And again, I just removed the leaves and the branches from lower so that these could all be trees. And it's just pretty to have this burst of flowers that kind of comes over whatever is planted in front of it. I prefer it this way. Almost done on accident last year, but it works so well. And these are the tiger eye sunflowers in the front with the yellow torch Mexican sunflowers in the back. Anyway, this is my grow area, but half of it's going to be gone on Monday. I planted the leftover, because I had so many, my sister gave me so many of them, seed dahlias, because of course they were these itty bitty little things in the bigger pots on the back porch. And these guys are absolutely gorgeous. Pink and white and yellow. And look at that white one. I mean, dahlias for sure are definitely, they are among my favorites. Did not expect them to grow so big, but frankly, I have them in the big pots at all four of these posts on the back porch. And I sort of like the look of the taller, something taller and green in front of these white posts. So pretty impressive. And then petunias down on the bottom there. Beautiful petunias. My sister bought me those for my birthday. They're gorgeous. And this is, I don't know if you remember it from my April one, but this is a Rose of Sharon. I was walking through Houston with my sister and I saw these stunning Rose of Sharons that grew multi-petal. They were double Rose of Sharons. So I pulled some of the seeds off of the bushes and planted them. Really, they were green seeds, so I did not expect anything. But I'm getting some fabulous growth out of them. That's one of them. So more of the crazy seed dahlias. Beautiful. Absolutely love them. These are a lot more, they are definitely leggier than the ones over there. And I'm not sure if it's just the location, but I'm fine. I mean, look at those flowers. Those are absolutely gorgeous. Tons of buds too, ready to come up. These baskets are Calibrachoa. Again, kind of surprised they're still around. I mentioned that over there to that other one. Usually this time of year is when you start seeing them failing, and I am seeing a little bit of it. No flowers on this one at all. I'll cut these back. So I bought, again, online, new begonia tubers, or bulbs. I keep saying tubers because of the dahlias. I'm going to put them in here so that as these die, the begonias will grow up, and I'm hoping we'll have a good crossover. Should have done it probably a few weeks ago, but I think we're still good. I think these will hang in there for another month or so, and then by then the begonias should be showing some really good life. And this is the left side of the pond, my favorite flower on the planet, bluebonnets. I have tried to grow bluebonnets, tried to plant them from seeds, bought them, and planted them, bought them at a flower store. I've never once succeeded. Now they're growing, so I'm thrilled. Literally my favorite plant on the planet. Petunias, this is another one of those petunia bushes. These are absolutely crazy how much they're growing. And this, that's a sunshine gazania. It's a flower. I haven't seen it actually. It's on its way out, but it's got some more buds under there. I think I'm going to trim some of this back to give the sunshine gazania a little air and a little light. A big field back here of verbena, the pink and white verbena. Just loving life back there. I just deadheaded just about everything yesterday, so I'm seeing a few tiny little flowers come up, but that is absolutely stunning when it's in full bloom. This is an area that gets zero, well, now it's getting a little sunlight, gets half a minute of sunlight. Other than that, this is in deep shade. Impatiens have seemed to be the absolute perfect solution to this area. It gives us lots of color, looks very full, very pretty. Really love it, and it's growing nicely. Moving along the fence to the left of the pond, holly. These holly bushes have always been fabulous for us. Over here, I planted Pride of Barbados. Finally got one to grow and actually came back after winter. I'm so thrilled. I'll put a picture here of what it's going to look like soon. And then I planted mums in front of it just to give it some shade because I did plant these goodness, I want to say July or August. Definitely not the right time of year. So that was to give it a little bit of shade, but tons of buds on this mum. I'm expecting that to just burst into bloom very quick. These are more of the Rose of Sharon cuttings from the front swoop that I planted back here. Over here I have petunias in the front and plumbago. This guy comes back every year and he's always wonderful. I absolutely love the blooms on those. This is a hollyhock, and I'm terrible at this. I see a plant I like. I look to see if there are any seeds to pull off. Sure enough, hollyhock, and again, the seeds are green. New Mexico, so mountains of New Mexico. I just don't know how well it's going to, right now it's fabulous. And it's growing, and it grew from green seeds, which apparently you're not supposed to pick them until they turn a darker brown or black. But I have no patience, and we were only there for a week, so I grabbed them while I could. Planted them back here. Hopefully they will be beautiful. I have 4 plants along the fence, 4 of hollyhocks from 3 different types of hollyhocks I saw there. So frankly, if any of them actually grow flowers, I'll be absolutely thrilled. It was one of those experimental things that I'm not very confident is actually going to work in my area. But for the moment, it's a beautiful big green plant. And this is a Mexican sunflower plant that came back after last year. This is that orangey red. I'll put a picture there. It's absolutely gorgeous. The ones I'm growing in the pots over there are for the yellow torch ones. So, calendula. This is absolutely stunning. I planted these from seeds, and they are sending off a whole bunch of buds. So this area should be absolutely stunning. And of course, more mums here, and so many buds on these. I just really, I think there's going to be a switch that's thrown, and all of my mums are going to be in full bloom. I did get, at the same time I got the Pride of Barbados over on the other side, and I put the mum in front of it, I bought an Esperanza and put the mum in front of it. And it is growing back, but I need to cut some of these back just a little bit, just to give it some more air. And this is another one of the New Mexico hollyhocks. Fingers crossed, we'll see. And continuing along the fence, scarlet sage, planted from seed. It's got this vine strangling it, so I'm going to get in there and pull that out. Some more calendula. These guys aren't doing as well and definitely don't have buds, but hey, they're growing. Mexican petunia that must have found its way over here, which again, I'm fine with. This is a big long fence with a lot of area to cover. And then this guy, what was he? Yep, I just checked and it said this is an aster. It's confusing because I have several plants that are identifying as asters, but they don't look the same, and I don't remember planting them. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens with those. And finally, some purple coneflower. My aunt sent me purple coneflowers from Vermont, Maine. I think she's in Maine. And I sowed them outside and was disappointed that nothing grew. They're growing, yay! So I'm thrilled. But that would be a plant sent to me from the Northeast. So pretty cool, and I'm curious to see how well it does in Central Texas. Another one of my hollyhocks from New Mexico. This one, though, is starting to show some rust, folks. That is not a good sign. So we'll see what happens with him. I'll treat him and see what we can do with him. Some more calendula. These have some buds on them. Woohoo! Gorgeous. Can't wait for them to open. Again, oh, Mandevilla. We did get another Mandevilla. We had a Mandevilla and a Bougainvillea farther down. Mandevilla and Bougainvillea we thought were completely gone. Surprisingly, about a week ago, I noticed the Bougainvillea is growing back. So that's woohoo. I'm thrilled. This is Scarlet Bee Balm, folks, and I'm going to look for a picture of this from last year. These are just the oddest, most interesting looking plants ever. So I'm thrilled that that decided to come back. And over here, my dahlias. This one I need to deadhead. but very gorgeous. Two dahlias. My black-eyed Susans all came back. I think these would grow in a field. I literally have to mow them down off the grass, but love them back here. They don't last long in Central Texas. These guys are going to be here and gone by mid-June. Behind here, and I'll bring the camera closer. When I was weeding and mulching, I noticed the bougainvillea is growing back. That was what I was telling you earlier. I'm so excited. That's why I put this trellis up. Obviously, it doesn't need a trellis yet, but it definitely will need a trellis. And I bought this. I put it together in the last video I posted, but it's very pretty. I expect so when the black-eyed Susans start dying, I've got another one. I've got the bougainvillea behind it that's going to be coming up, as well as one of the New Mexico hollyhocks. Fingers crossed that continues. And some of the purple coneflowers are also coming up behind all of these black-eyed Susans. So I'm really thrilled. I want to have year-round, well, other than the winter, year-round color in here. Last year, these black-eyed Susans were gorgeous. When they started dying, I pulled them, planted other things, but by then it was, into the end of June, beginning of July, and frankly, it was too hot for most plants to get started. And we're almost to the left corner in the backyard of my house. Those are zinnias in the front. Very pretty, and they seem to like it here. I think I was really concerned there'd be too much sun. These are yellow rose cactus. My husband brought me home, just a lobe that he got from the woods, and I stuck it in the dirt and it's growing. Woohoo! This should be huge at some point in time, but they don't grow super fast. This is another Rose of Sharon that I took a cutting from the front yard. This is a gorgeous drift rose, and I'm so sorry you're seeing it right now. I think the rainstorm really just knocked a lot of life out of any of the blooms that I had. So I'm sure in a couple weeks these will be gorgeous. But I'm glad you're seeing it. This is real. This is May. We get a lot of rain, a lot for us, not so much for everybody else. But yeah, when we do, it does knock the stuffing out of some of our plants. But this is gorgeous. It's usually filled with these gorgeous pink roses. I'm sure it'll be gorgeous again really soon. Okay, so now we're back into the next corner, the left corner of the yard. This pot our neighbors gave us. They moved, and I've been putting things in it. I've got the lemon coral sedum. I've got some blue lobelia. This is some cineraria. I don't know about that, but I did get a few things to tuck into the top here because I don't think this is going to last much longer. This area does get a lot of sun. Petunias, another 4 o'clock that I'm turning into a tree, and mums. Folks, I did not set out to have so many mums in my yard. It just sort of happened over time. But you know what? When these are all blooming, I'm going to be so thrilled with mums. So I'm just wait. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm seeing some yellow. I'm going to go and close. Yep, I'm getting the first blooms off of those mums. I'm telling you, folks, there are so many buds on all of these mums. It's just going to be gorgeous, I'm sure. This time next week, I have no doubt it's going to be stunning. Just to back it up a bit, this corner is relatively new. My sister and I did a no-till garden in this entire section. Let me back up. Literally this entire corner, we did a no-till garden, and I absolutely loved the look. But there was nothing here. This was all grass just 6 months ago when we first put it in. And as I already showed you, we've got your mums. Plenty of mums. These are profusion zinnias, which I love. They're absolutely gorgeous. And back here, these two are the death row plants, 2 of the death row plants my husband picked up from, I don't remember whether it was Home Depot or HEB, but they're doing wonderfully. I brought them home, I cut them back, I put them in the ground with some fertilizer, and look at this. I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous. The 4 pots, I ordered dahlia tubers. I thought I ordered 3 dahlia tubers, and instead I had around 12 to 15. So you'll see periodically throughout my yard these pots. I found the best way for me to grow these dahlia tubers is to plant them in pots, put them where I think I'm going to want them. And then the ones that are growing well, I'll plant there. The other ones that might not be doing so well, I'll plant elsewhere. They're not all exactly the same. And I did not keep track of which ones were which. And there's mulch everywhere, folks. That rain just floated that mulch. Back there in the back corner, we put 1,001 zinnia seeds. I'm not seeing a whole lot. I mean, a few, yes, but not enough. So we're going to rethink closer to the fence because this is definitely going to end up in a more shaded zone. But oh, another drift rose on this side. This one's red. And again, I'm going to come in and I'm going to deadhead. Normally you don't have to deadhead these, but that rain really seemed to take the stuffing out of a lot of my plants. This is my amaryllis garden. All of these will be harvested in the first week of May. Look at this. Flipping squirrels dug up one of my amaryllis bulbs and started eating it like an apple. You see little teeth marks. I think he's gone. Anyway, these will all be harvested first week of September. I will dry them inside for 2 months, dark in a closet for 2 months. And then I'm going to wax half of them and send them to family. And I will plant the other half and give them to family closer by and for our house for over Christmas. Also paper whites in the center. But pretty much this is my winter garden, of course, with some lantana thrown in. But this is going to be what I call my winter garden because the purpose is to grow flowers in the winter for this area. My kaleidoscope butterfly bush is really leafing out. So funny. When we bought this, I got it online. It came and it was a bunch of dead sticks. Looked like dead sticks. And I really was debating whether or not I should trim them back. But then I, thank goodness, watched a video online and apparently no, it says the leaves grow out of those dead sticks. And it is. Thrilled. And I'll put a picture here of what it's going to look like. I'm looking for color in this area. This is again where I had my jacaranda tree that never made it through the winter. So hopefully this little guy will. This is my arch. I have lights, solar lights going up and over it. So it's very pretty at night. During the day, what I'm planning on growing here is I've got seed dahlias that I want for lower, the color lower down. And as you know, I'm thrilled with these this year. And then I have, goodness, folks, I am completely blanking today. Climbing, I'm going to look it up. Different plant over there than over here. I will put the names here because I can't remember, but they should absolutely be gorgeous. They had a little bit of a rough start. They didn't look very happy or healthy. I fertilized, I watered, I took care of them, and they are super duper healthy and they're beginning to climb. I want the both of these to kind of grow up and over the top. Basically, I want this zone into this side yard of mine to be stunning and lots of color. Over here is an extension to the back of the impatient garden that I told you before has little to no sun. Well, this is even, it has less sun. It's just so tucked away. So coleus, begonias, they seem to like it here. So, you know, I'm looking for, I hope all of this just fills out. Oh, and by the way, I completely forgot. I am turning this rose bush into a tree. I have it attached to a very long stake. I've been taking off the lower leaves and the branches. And just like the same thing I'm doing with the 4 o'clocks, I really want this to be a rose tree. I've been fascinated by seeing those online. This is normally, this entire area is not a drift rose. I'll put it here. I can't remember. But not pretty. The flowers aren't pretty. The plant doesn't look really healthy. Still ends up being 5-6 feet tall, 5-6 feet wide. Takes up way too much space going out into the grass. I've been very unhappy with it and was thinking about taking it out. But instead, as I said, I really became fascinated with this idea of turning a rose bush into a rose tree. So if that works, that'll be really cool. But that's an experiment. So this over here, the first plant is lavender. Lavender was planted around the corner here in the shade definitely did not get a lot of sun. I transplanted it. It's not super duper happy, but it is growing some flowers, folks. So I think it may make it, but it's got to appreciate the sun over here a little bit more. Sunflowers, Pro-Cut sunflowers, and there's my first one. Yay! So I can't wait to cut that and put it in a vase inside. Down at the bottom, I put my Tiger Eye hybrid sunflowers, a few of them. Again, they're only supposed to grow about 2 feet tall, about 2 feet wide. So I thought that'd be a great filler. This entire wall gets a ton of sun. This is blue anise sage. Had it last year, one bush, and 1,000 plants have grown back so far this year. I've actually been pulling out more than half of them. I have the sunflowers tucked in back behind, but again, when I planted them, I didn't anticipate all of this blue anise sage coming back. Love it. Gorgeous, pretty, gorgeous. I'm not going to complain about it at all. I just really want my Pro-Cut sunflowers to have a chance. So we'll see how far that goes. And these are getting eaten up by something. So I have, as I told you, I've been treating my my roses for thrips already. I mean, it's so early in the year, but something is just munching these plants. So I need to come out here and treat a bit more, look around, do some sleuthing, figure out what's eating them, and come up with some solution. And this is my, or will be my, cut flower garden. I want to come out here every morning. I want to cut gorgeous flowers. I want to bring them inside, arrange them in vases, and just have them be absolutely stunning and beautiful. So anyway, over here in 3 locations, here's a Savannah rose bush, transplanted for more sun. Definitely happy over here. The rock rose, which was already also transplanted, did not have enough sun, seems much happier here. And on the very end, as we get down there further, is the soul sister rose, which is absolutely thrilled to be on this side of the house. In between those roses, I have gladiolus that are growing up behind, and I just have massive amounts of zinnias, taller zinnias, that I can cut and bring inside. So I'm really looking forward. This garden had a lot planted in it, and then through a mishap, ended up having to start from ground zero again about a month and a half ago. So I'm really hopeful this by the end of June, beginning of July, that this is just going to be an entire wall of flowers. And this is Stonehead Garden, for obvious reasons. I have planted so many things in front of this, and for some reason, it's a curse of the Stonehead. They always die. I don't know why. But so this year, again, going back to my seed dahlias, my sister just gave me 101 seed dahlias. So they're everywhere throughout my garden and frankly, thrilling me. Super healthy, lots of buds. I think this may have been the answer to this area all along. I would not have thought dahlias would have done well here, but they seem to be doing well. I call these guys baby dragons. They just look like baby dragons. They really do. I think they're geckos. I don't know, but they're absolutely huge. You can see from the that's a standard brick size. So he is not a tiny guy. All over my yard this year. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they're the ones who are eating the greens. I have no idea. This is my dining room window garden, I call it, because when you walk into my house, you look through this big picture window from my dining room and you look straight out into this garden. So on this side of the dining room garden, I wanted plants that would be tall enough so that when you walk through the house, you could see the flowers peeking over the top. Now, this yellow rose, absolutely stunning. It was actually a fire and ice, what do you call it, bare root rose, mislabeled clearly, but the yellow is beautiful. And I mean, it has grown a ton. So I have no doubt that that is going to reach the window here pretty soon. Sweet William over here. This is the taller varieties, which actually I've been cutting and bringing and putting vases inside. Some zinnias, some petunias, calendra. And down here again, you can see some pots in the background. These are just more of the dahlias that I got. I just got a lot more than I originally thought I had ordered. Fine with me. As long as they're growing, that's fabulous. And they will be given a position wherever they are. Clearly, you can see that one is growing very quickly. So I think I might plant it right where it is. These two back here, not so much. Again, they're different kinds, and stupid me didn't keep track of which ones I planted in which pots. But clearly, I think maybe I'll move these into a sunnier area and see if they seem to like life, better with more sun. Over here, the other side, this is part of the garden that you see when you look out my dining room window. And this is coming along very well. I've got the pots that the neighbors gave us. And frankly, I mean, with the flowers, and they're just stunning. I had to look back at photos of what this garden looked like last year. These pots have just added so much to it, really has. The Thryallis back here is starting to grow, which I'm totally thrilled. Azaleas, I don't know. This one bloomed fabulous. That guy over here, he's just not a happy plant. I don't know if maybe it's just too much shade or if it's battling with the tree for nutrients. I honestly have no idea. I'm going to do a little bit more research and see what happens. But for now, it's a big, green, beautiful plant, so I'm fine. This is the other half you see when you're looking out. And let me get around this black diamond, crepe myrtle, and this is the other part you see. These are the kalanchoe. And in the last video I posted, I pruned them. These are pruned around 2.5, 3 weeks ago. And as you can see, they are all blooming beautifully right now. These I just pruned a few days ago and they already have buds. So this is a nice area for it. It's pretty much shade, some dappled light throughout the day. I have a coleus growing back here, which is really very pretty. And again, these are the hosta combinations of 3 with the caladiums in between. Right behind the kalanchoe, I planted, let me move. So the line of kalanchoes behind the kalanchoe are the same order of hosta, the 2 different types, groupings, and then a caladium, and a few of them are starting to come up, yay! But all of these back here are showing life, so I'm thrilled. And there's a caladium in between each of these hosta groupings, and then one in the middle. What basically every other one has got a caladium that's in there. Behind those are bleeding hearts. These are going to be about 3.5 feet tall, gorgeous flowers. And then back here, and God, folks, I can't remember the name of it again. I transplanted those from the other part of the garden. Clerodendron, that's it, clerodendron. Those are going to be 6 feet tall, and it's the same height as the fence. And they grow beautiful pink flowers. I think they just had too much sun where they were located last year, and I think they're going to be much happier here. We will have to wait and see. And that's it for the May garden tour. Whew, very humid out here. Not very warm, but the humidity is like almost 80%. It's kind of crazy. That's it for my May garden tour. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you did, please hit subscribe, like, or share. It really helps me grow my channel. Have a wonderful day.